Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
I love it. What a way to do a radio show.
Call in there.
What a way to do a radio show. Yeah. When you got talent like that out there, you know, and we just probably caused a massive trucks, down I-55 there. Hey, we're going to wrap up this Outdoors with Larry Ray, our annual turkey show. Steve Turpin in studio. Gene Smith's going to give us a pun here before we take off because he is my pun man. Dave Gabbard has been my support right here. Every time I start leaning toward him, he moves away as I try to stay.
I'm kind of like
as I try to stay vertical.
I'm the Bob Uecker of the show.
You are the Bob Uecker of the show, and I'm the. I'm not sure what I am, but a lot of you folks out there, you know, I'm dealing with cancer, but this show is just. It's so invigorating for me on this Saturday morning. I look forward to this show every year. And I may not be able to hunt this spring due to health things, but this show brings me great joy. And I can't think of a better way to close it out than to have a pun from Gene Smith. And then these next guests are coming in. Bill Cooksy's on the line with us, and that was Bill somewhere in that hollow of Hall of Fame callers doing that. But we appreciate Bill.
I'm non-Hall of Fame caller.
Yeah, you're there. Yes, you are, Bill. Remember, you are, Bill. We'll see you in August, Bill. Okay, but we've got two guys here. Both of them are with Woodhaven Calls. One, Duke Turnage, has been on the show many times out of Dyersburg. It's great to have Duke on this. Good morning, Duke.
Good morning.
And who's this other guy we got, Duke? I mean, does he know anything about turkey calling? I mean,
he might be a call cutter or something. I'm not really sure what he does.
I think he knows what he does because when you talk about Billy Yargus, you got to talk about somebody that's been on the stage, competed for the national championship, and still out there doing it. And Billy's up at Springfield at the big fair that they got going at Bass Pro Shops, and both of these guys associated with Woodhaven Calls, Billy Yargus and Duke Turnage. Good morning, Billy.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us, buddy. I can't think of better people to close out this show with. Let's talk Woodhaven Calls. Billy, let's start with you because I'm not saying age before beauty. Duke, don't get me wrong here now, Duke, okay? But if Billy's going to put his name on something, I think Billy knows what he likes. So talk about it, Billy.
Yeah, I work for Woodhaven full-time building mouth calls, and, of course, I designed some. We've got the Blue Cutter, the Blue Viper, and the Kibble Cutter are my favorites.
Yes. And, I like those names, Billy. Did you get to name those calls, Billy? I mean,
no, I didn't. Actually, I think Mike come up with most of the names for the calls. I just designed them, and we just rolled with it.
Okay. I thought everybody get to name their own calls. That's what I always wanted to do, name my own fishing lures and be part of that. Yeah. But you talked about Mike Pentecost, of course, is the founder and owner of Woodhaven and a great Christian man. And I know Billy is going to be in part of that if that's possible because Billy stands up for a lot of us in the outdoor industry, is an outspoken person on that. And so, Billy, talk about the love affair you got with, I know growing up in Missouri, talk about the love affair you have with turkey hunting.
Yeah, my wife says I'm addicted. Whenever I share my testimony at different churches, I'm always telling everybody that there was a time when I got very obsessed with it and maybe went overboard, and my wife thinks I still have that obsession. And I still go overboard with it.
But you have that love affair with it, and has brought you much success. Did this come easy? I mean, when I've seen you on stage, I've seen you win championships and things along that line. It looks so easy, Duke. It's not that easy, is it, Duke?
I wouldn't know. I've never won anything.
No, but you've listened to him. Does he not make it look easy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He makes it look like riding a bike or something.
Yes. And I'm wondering how you developed that, Billy.
Over time, I turkey hunted for several years before I ever got in the calling contest, and calling to a turkey and calling to a judge it's the same and it's different completely because the one thing it is the same is you get nervous. You ever have a gobbler up on the limb and you're getting ready to make that first little sound and you want it to be perfect and you don't want any mistakes. You want him to fly down and come right to the gun. And it's the same way when you get on stage. You get up there and your nerves get going and your mouth tightens up and it gets a little bit dry and you're just scared to death that you're going to make the wrong sound. You just have to learn how to call with them nerves, just like you're turkey hunting. So it's a blast. I enjoy the competition part of it, and I more so enjoy going to the woods and calling to the real thing.
And Bill Cooksey, you're listening to this now. You've judged the duck calling championship, buddy, this past year, and we've talked about what's the difference between a competition for the duck caller and competition for just blowing the duck call in the blind.
Well, turkey and duck both, competition, you are competing for judges. You have a certain thing you have to do at a certain time, whereas in hunting, you have to be, if you can make all the sounds in hunting that it takes to win a contest, whether duck or turkey, you just change your timing as far as when you do it, how you do it, that sort of thing when you're hunting versus in a competition. And I promise you, there are a whole lot more butterflies typically with judges than there are with birds.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I'm sure that Billy remembers that first time, Billy, that you got on stage. Was there butterflies? Are there still butterflies?
There's always butterflies. Every time you get up there, people ask me all the time, how do you get over the nerve thing?
Yes.
And be able to run your call like you would at home? And I tell them, I say, you don't never get over the nerve thing. Only thing you can do is figure out how to call while you're nervous. And realistically, anymore, when I get on stage, I like the nerves because I don't feel like I call as well if I'm too relaxed when I walk up there.
And Duke is a turkey hunter. Butterflies come to us, don't they, Duke?
They came to me just the other day. I mean, I had Mike Pentecost behind me and Dylan Hazen on the camera behind me, and you talk about nerves.
You had them.
I was in bad shape.
You were in bad shape, but you wouldn't want to be anyplace else, right? So I mean, no. And again, we're talking to Duke Turnage and Billy Yargus from Woodhaven Calls, and I've got to throw in right here because there's a lot of people out in the woods today going turkey hunting. They've made all the preparations. Dave Gabbard, your many years with the TWRA. The safety aspect of that is still involved. Butterflies or not, you got to be careful.
You do have to. You got to
identify your target.
You got to positively identify.
Yes, and so let's hear what you two guys say about the safety aspect of this, Billy.
That's the number one thing. I mean, always make sure your muzzle's pointed in the right direction and always make sure your target. I read a story years and years ago where a guy went hunting several times on this one farmer's ground, and the farmer didn't hunt very often, and he kept going after this same bird. He had decided he wasn't going to go to that particular spot and hunt that morning, and the farmer decided he was going to go. The guy ended up shooting the farmer thinking that he was a gobbler when he come up over the hill, and that's a perfect example. You want to shoot the turkey in the head and the neck, and I mean, you just get too wrapped up in it and get too nervous, and you get your adrenaline flowing, and the guy makes a poor shot.
Makes a poor shot.
And you don't wear colors that match the animals.
Yeah, you got to be able to see that. And Duke, you the same way. I mean, safety comes first. I'm sure when you had the camera guy there, you had Mike behind you, and you're sitting there and you say, I got to be right on this, right, Duke?
Oh yeah. I remember, and you probably remember it too, Missouri being one of the first states to have your little sticker, your Be Safe sticker and all that. Now a lot of states have
right.
done that.
Yeah. And Turpin's, Steve, I know the adrenaline still focuses for you, but at the same time, you got to keep your senses. Turkey hunting
you got to pay attention. I've had people slip in on my calling.
Who hasn't? And didn't know they were over the next ridge.
Yeah,
and those kind of things.
And especially with advances in ammo.
Oh yeah,
you can shoot people a long distance off and really hurt somebody or kill them if you're not
Yeah.
be 100%
What,
sure
what about
what you're
that,
doing.
Billy? The advances in ammo. You've been doing it for a while.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. We use Apex ammunition, the Ninja Turkey loads,
Yes.
and the difference between that and the old shells, it's night and day. My gosh, they're using 410s now, and Mark Scroggins' son Colton killed one in Texas the other day at 47 yards with that 410.
With a
And just
410.
flipped him over backwards. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Dave Gabbard? For the 410.
Yeah, that's a lot of people hunting with.
Why
a
did I ever
410.
trade in my 410? I don't know why I did that. You know. Again, we're talking to Billy Yargus and Duke Turnage. And Duke, I know you being in West Tennessee, you're on the road a lot and everything else, but we want you to have a safe trip. Good hunts, buddy, and let's stay in touch, okay? All right?
Thank you.
And
I
same-
appreciate it, buddy.
same-
God bless you, buddy.
Yeah, same thing with you, Billy. Okay, man? Thank you for taking time to be with us, all right?
Oh, thanks for having us. I sure appreciate it.
All right, safe travels, all right? Okay.
Same to you, buddy.
All right. All right, Gene Smith, I got to have a pun before we
Of course. Well, you know, back in the day when they had the traveling salesman come by with a horse and wagon, and
Yeah.
he sold pots and pans and needles and threads and
The drummers.
The
the
drummers.
drummer, yeah. And they come by this farmer, and his wife said, "Don't go out there. We don't need nothing." So he went out there anyway. He found a mirror. He'd never seen a mirror before. He picked that mirror up. He said, "Oh, it's a picture of my pawpaw." So he didn't want his wife to know he bought it, so he hid it in the barn. Every night he'd go out there and see a picture of his pawpaw. So his wife got up early one morning and said, "I'm going to see what he's doing." She went in and found that mirror. She said, "That's that hussy he's fooling with."
Okay. Now, what outdoor show would have something like that? Right, Cooksey? I mean, we've
Yeah, like yesterday, you didn't get in on what, $1.79 gas.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I missed that.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah. All right. Thank y'all very much, Bill Cooksey. Thank you for being with us on the phone. Dave Gabbard, Gene Smith.
Yes, sir.
I always enjoy having you guys here. Steve Turpin, thank you for
Always
being
a
part
pleasure.
of it. First, we're going to talk next week with our good friends at Little Red River. Talk a lot about what's going on with the Little Red River. Some other surprise guests on next week's show, but this has been a fun one. Let's close this baby out and remind you, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else?
God bless the USA.
Hit it for us, Steve.
And we do this because we love Larry Ray.
Oh, okay.